What is up, Team UGGC? It is your boy, Itsswiggz, and I'm back with another video. So, today's video is going to be a Dauntless gameplay, combat gameplay reveal from the alpha test, the technical alpha test. Now, let me give you a quick rundown about this game. I've previously put videos up about this game when they released it at Gamescom. I had put some videos up about it. Now, a little bit rundown about this game. This is like Monster Hunter. It's pretty much the exact same thing as Monster Hunter, but in a different type of gameplay style. Now, it is 4 weapons, like 5 not classes, but different like type of people you could play with, but it's 4 weapon classes. Now, it's pretty simple and basic. Now, this is in the alpha test, so you got to really think about it. They have not added a lot of stuff, a lot of mechanics and stuff like that. Now, from Gamescom, when they showed the gameplay on Gamescom, yeah, it was kind of, you know, they didn't have a lot of stuff, but now the technical alpha test is out, which was handed out to YouTubers and streamers to a select few. Now, this will be launched. The Founders Alpha program will be launched August 18th. I didn't get into the Founders program. I signed up for it, but I did not get into it. I think it's like $30 or something like that to get into it, or $25. I'm possibly thinking about just going ahead and copping it, but I really would just like to be invited to it. But you know how that goes sometimes. I'm not really a popular YouTuber, so some of that shit don't work out for your boy, but it's all good. So of course my boy Arekkz Gaming definitely got the foot. He always get the exclusive, so I always use his content. Shout out to Arekkz, and I always give him credit. This is not my footage, but this is his footage. He got a full rundown of the full alpha. He got to play with every single weapon, every single character, fought a whole lot of monsters. So we're going to actually look at his gameplay as he break it down. I know a little bit about this game. I know that it's just like Monster Hunter. You can you fight different monsters, beat them, take their materials, make armor, weapons, upgrades, and stuff like that. Every monster has a different mechanic, and they added new fighting mechanics, new combos and stuff to the character that you pick and the weapon that you pick. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot going on with this game, and this is an awesome game. This is on my radar. I'm super hyped about this, even though I'm more hyped for Monster Hunter World. But this is one game that I'm hyped for, and it's free to play on PC when it does drop. So you can't really beat that. And this game looks dope. The game style, the play style is dope. I'm really feeling this, and I got 2 weapons in hand that I definitely want to use. It's the chain. I guess they're like nunchucks, like chain swords, and then you got like a one-hand sword. I'm definitely looking forward to using that stuff. So let's get into the gameplay. This is a game combat gameplay exclusive. Just dropped maybe a week ago or a few weeks ago. So this is all new content. I have not seen a lot of this. He did a great breakdown. I know this is going to be a great video. I had to watch it till here because he did like a lot of plugin and stuff like that. So this is where the video actually starts. So let's get it. Let me shut up and let's get it. I love the playstyle of this though. It's gonna be dope.
Now, to begin with, before we dive into the meat of the video, so I can make sure that we're all on the same page, let's start with what exactly is Dauntless.
He's going to break down what Dauntless
is. It's an upcoming free-to-play co-op action RPG where, in a similar vein to Monster Hunter or other games in that space, you fight giant beasts, in this case called Behemoths, and you then use the parts gathered from those Behemoths to forge more powerful weapons and craft more powerful armor. And
that's going to be the weapon I'm using right there.
You guessed it. You then go off and fight even more
dual
powerful
joints,
but
they're
the cycle.
nunchucks,
so like and you like grinding for loot, then you're probably going to want to pay attention. In this game, your quote-unquote hunter is referred to as a slayer. You have 4 weapons to choose from, each of which provide a drastically different gameplay experience, and we'll explore those shortly. Plus, there will be more weapons added further down the line. The game can also be played with up to 3 other players to form a team of 4, and together you can go off and slay behemoths side by side, but similarly, if you are more the lone wolf type, then you can go it alone. In fact, while I have
that hammer OP
to play
too.
Dauntless in co-op, all my alpha playtime has been solo, since the time zones made it a little tricky to pair up with anyone else. So I just did it the old-fashioned way and got the job done, which is pretty handy for any of you guys wondering what it's like as a solo player. So in short, If, like me, you're a fan of Monster Hunter or other games within that space, Tokiden, God Eater, heck, even something like Dark Souls, which is admittedly a little different,
I used to play Tokiden,
if any of these games resonate with you,
Tokiden and Gogito, I used to play both of those, especially Tokido.
But enough with the preamble. Let's actually dive in and start talking about the game itself. Combat is the main focus here. We'll touch on a few other topics along the way, but ultimately, in a game like this, where you're going to be fighting and slaying behemoths,
yo, I need those dual weapons, bro. So lit.
It is incredibly important that combat feels good. I mean, if it was rubbish, then the excitement of the fight wouldn't be there. That would then make the grind for loot a chore.
You see the scars on the monster?
Thankfully,
that is crazy.
Is in a very good place already. It is, however, worth calling out that this is still an alpha. There is placeholder stuff,
it's alpha build. They still got to add a lot of stuff
to test yet, simply because it isn't finished, and we're far enough away from launch whereby any feedback given can still have a genuine positive impact on the game. And to that point right there, the fact that feedback can heavily impact the player experience is evident on the combat front. See, I actually had a chance to play Dauntless a good while ago when they took the game to PAX South. I wasn't actually there, but I had a chance to play the build remotely, and at the time, what we were experiencing was much earlier on in development. The core flow was there, the weapons were in place, the moves were in place, in fact everything you needed to complete an end-to-end hunt was there, so the player experience was solid. But at the time, combat was definitely still being worked on. Back then, the feel of the weapons wasn't quite right. They didn't have the feeling of weight you'd expect when swinging something like a hammer, or charging up a hefty axe hit, or even quickly swinging a light and nimble sword. Pair that with the sounds that at the time.
Are you talking about PAX East when this game was first launched, where you could actually play it?
And you were left with an experience that was
this was
fun,
months ago,
had great potential, but
like
definitely
winter.
Still had a way to go. Well, fast forward to today, or this past week, where I've been sinking a good number of hours into the alpha build, and let me tell you, all the feedback and concerns back then have been wholeheartedly addressed. The combat now feels great. Each of the 4 weapons feels different and feels how you'd expect it to. If you're wielding the bigger, hefty and slow hammer, when you attack the behemoths, you have that sense of weight that comes with a weapon of that type. Charging up a big axe here and landing it feels and sounds satisfying.
This is gonna be...
Swinging the chain blades in a fast-paced flurry combo makes you feel like some sort of kung fu master. And even the more modest, nimble sword when powered up, taking full advantage of the weapon's potential, feels great. So in short, the experience and the feedback that is entirely necessary to make slaying behemoths over and over again
I'm definitely going to be using those. That's like probably my go-to weapon right there.
Itself? How in-depth is it? How easy is it to pick up? Well, with these types of games, there's really 2 main ways to approach things. You either go down the Monster Hunter route, where you have a wide range of weapons, each of which has a varying number of combos for you to learn and master, some weapons more complex than others, or alternatively, you go, say, the Dark Souls route.
Love that dash attack. Love that dodge dash thing.
Basic, but also more deliberate. Games like that are much more about taking your basic
you can use those to grapple,
using, and then mastering when and how you should use it. And that latter route is the path Dauntless chose. Combat in Dauntless, no matter what weapon you choose, is much more simple. Easy to pick up, but hard to master is the phrase that you're looking for here. If you look at the menu for any weapon, you'll have your basic attacks on X and Y, or left and right mouse if you're playing keyboard and mouse. These can then be chained together to form a few basic combos, all of which are listed in the menu. Unlike games like Monster Hunter, where you're given the basics, but you then later discover there are a ton more combos hidden amongst various button inputs, in Dauntless, what you see is what you get. But don't take that the wrong way, it's not a bad thing, not in the slightest. This sort of approach is what makes games like Super Smash Bros., Marvel vs. Capcom, or even the upcoming, say, Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Oh my god, that's so
fighting
OP.
games, but the point is, you pick up the controller, and within a couple of minutes, you know what you're doing. But of course, with extended playtime, there is a whole lot more to master. You're not weighed down with a 10-page move list, you're not sitting there worrying about whether your chosen combo is the most optimal, whether it's outputting the best possible DPS. You know that within your limited array of moves, provided that you're in the action and attacking, you're generally speaking doing a good job. That being said, there are of course subtleties to each weapon, things that you want to know, and these are things that I do actually plan to cover very soon in a series of weapon tutorials. Some moves do more damage than others, some moves have specific purposes, for example the sword's fast flurry attack. This isn't a damage dealing move.
If I don't have the Founders Edition by then, I'll probably use this footage of the breakdown and put it on my channel, but hopefully I can get my hands on the Founders Edition. Hopefully.
With mastery of the weapon, you learn that there are also ways to take advantage of these moves without consuming your resource. For weapons like the axe, there's the surface level charge attacks, which seem cool, do a lot of damage, but then there's the underlying buff system, which you can work towards to do some massive damage. So as you can see, with each weapon, you may have just a handful of moves or combos for you to choose from, but only through extended playtime do you truly begin to master the weapon, and this very system is also what makes experimenting with other weapons so easy. Even if you spend hours and hours mastering one weapon, if you then suddenly decide that you want to mix things up and just dive in with something new, it won't be long before you know what you're doing with the other weapons, and that then helps keep things fresh. So again, to reiterate, the combat model is definitely, without a doubt, a case of easy to pick up, hard to master. But in a game like this, combat from your character is of course only half the battle. It's what you're fighting against that provides the challenge, the Behemoths.
Yep.
I'm not entirely sure
Gotta know the game
how many
mechanics.
they plan to launch with, but during the alpha I had a chance to fight against a good 5 or 6 different types. They also come in different forms. Early on you fight what are called the beta versions. These are basically the beginner forms of the Behemoths, and they behave similar to their alpha versions, the main difference being that they don't enter the enraged state. When a Behemoth becomes enraged, it begins to behave very differently. It's considerably more aggressive and more dangerous, so that in itself is actually a really clever way to introduce people to the fight. You battle the baby version, essentially, and then once you've proven that you're able to take it down, you then fight the real thing.
That's tight.
But each Behemoth is drastically different from the last. They're bright, colourful, and varied in design, but don't let the colourful nature fool you. They're also pretty lethal if you don't know what you're doing. Much like any other game in this genre, without a health bar to monitor, you're reliant on the creature's tells, so you have to look for things like when it slows down, it flees, or the usual stuff, and combat is then about studying the Behemoth, learning its tells,
learning the game mechanics, learning the monster mechanics.
When you start out, the Nasher, for example, very clearly telegraphs its moves, so it's incredibly easy to read, and quite frankly, if you're getting hit by it, then you're probably just not paying attention. Meanwhile, something a little more fierce, like Drask, the tells on that are a little bit more subtle, and the beast is much bigger, so you either learn to fight with caution, or very quickly learn to master the iframes on your rolls or your dashes. It's also worth mentioning that in the grand scheme of things, I'm still super early in the game, so while I'm able to begin to see where the challenge lies, and how some of these Behemoths will present rather difficult situations, there's still so much more for me to discover, and the true challenge still awaits. If I were to use Monster Hunter as a comparison point, I'm still fighting in low rank. I've still
really like that armor set.
But comparisons aside, I genuinely am having a blast playing Dauntless, and it's actually really refreshing to see another game in this genre. And given that it will be free to play when it launches later this year, there's really no reason to not check it out.
Free to play, folks.
If you're still on the fence, then
free to play. Put this on your wish list. This is free to play. It's gonna be lit.
So I'll give you guys a good chance to see it in action and see what the game has to offer. Plus, as mentioned, I'm planning on doing a series of weapon tutorials to speak a little more in depth about the 4 weapons, so do keep it locked for those. But for the time being, hope you guys enjoyed the video and look at how the game is shaping up. If you did, let me know what you think of the
pretty lit, guys, pretty lit. Now, if I could get my hands on this game, I would definitely do my own breakdown videos and tutorials and stuff like that, but I have to get my hand, and I'm trying to work my hand to get it. Like I said, I've signed up for the Founders Edition. I'm just waiting for them to hit me back with some kind of information about it. But I'm definitely going to be doing my own breakdown videos amongst side of Monster Hunter World, and I'm still playing Monster Hunter Online, so I'll be putting up little small episodes of that as well. So be on the lookout for the channel, man. I got a lot of heat coming, so stay tuned with me, man. Stay in those comments, stay hitting that like button, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to let me know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and you guys are being entertained and informed about these dope ass games that's dropping. And I'm just trying to keep it motivated and keep it going. Shout out to my bros at the Team UGGC. Shout out to everybody that's supporting and grinding with us and showing love. And just keep commenting to me. Hit me on Twitter. That's where I'm at 24/7. Also IG. And please check out our Facebook community group page. We got an Urban Gamer gaming community group page on Facebook. So if you want to join that and put your content, your streams, your content, your games, whatever you want to put on there, screenshots, feel free to do that. Post it on our wall. Comment. Let's get it, man. Let's make this pretty dope. Let's make this community one big happy family. Cliche as hell, but it's your boy Itsswiggz. I got some more Dauntless videos coming. I got a lot of different little videos coming. Monster Hunter, all that good shit you guys like to see is coming to the channel. So keep supporting, keep it gaming, keep it peace, keep it swag, and I'll definitely see you in the next episode. Deuces. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Let's get this to 100 likes, at least 100 or 100 plus, whatever y'all want to do. Thanks for the support, guys. Peace.
Drunk as fucking, yeah, I'm finally in this bitch, yeah. And my bitch is finally with this shit, yeah.